Hi, in this episode, we're going to talk about ads, advertisements. Because for most business owners, ads feels like one of two things. Either it's a magic button or it feels like scam. So they either believe that the ads will save their business, or they've tried ads before, they've lost money, and then they decided ads don't work. But the reality is that ads are not necessarily good or bad. In fact, to me, I would say it is good because it works for me, right? But the truth is that ads are an amplifier. And what that means is that they don't necessarily create results when every other thing is needed and not in place. But instead, ads multiply whatever is already happening in your business. So if your business system is very clear, then your advertisement would feel like freedom. But what happens if your system is broken? Ads would feel like robbery. So in today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to think about advertising like an oversubscribed brand. Not as gambling, and definitely not as desperation, but as purposeful scale for your business. So let's talk about why ads don't fix broken systems. And definitely that is the most important truth about advertising. Ads don't fix broken systems. They don't. Instead, they expose those systems. You see, organic marketing is like turning on your tap, right? You post a content maybe every day, maybe twice a week, maybe every other day. You get engagement on your content, likes, comments, and maybe some people then DM you, so you get a few leads and then you get a few sales. So that is organic content. But ads are like turning on a fire hose. So if your system is leaking, what you need is not more water. Instead, what you need is repairs. Fix the system. And of course, when I talk about system, I mean the full conversion path from traffic all the way to conversion and even to repeat sales. And there are 5 places throughout this conversion path where ads would expose the weakness of your system. And the number 1 is positioning, because that clearly is the result of your messaging. And what is ads if not that you are communicating a message to your audience? And if that message is vague, that is not addressing a specific audience about a specific problem and letting them know the specific unique mechanism your offer has to solve that problem, what you're going to get is cheap clicks. You're going to get low quality leads. You are going to get people who don't convert because the ad continue to attract the wrong people because of your wrong messaging. The second place where your ads may expose the weakness of your system is the offer itself. It's one thing for you to have wrong messaging about the offer. It's another thing for the offer itself to be weak. So if the offer is not valuable, is not clear, is not valuable, you may get attention because people really have the problem that the offer is solving. You may get curiosity, but you're not going to get any action because a great positioning would only be great if the offer itself has what it meant to have. All right, it's one thing for your messaging to be able to communicate your great offer in a very good way. It's another thing if the offer was not great in the first place. So what message do you want to communicate in the first place? So you need to fix that first before running ads. Now going to the third place where your ads may expose the weakness of your system, and that is the funnel weakness. You see, it is one thing for your messaging to be great, especially because the offer itself is great, but it's another thing for you to be able to traffic the audience from wherever they are on social media, on Google, on whatever they are, into a conversion point, and that is what funnel is all about. So if your landing page is confusing, the way you wrote your copy on the landing page, the way you design the copy, everything about your landing page, if it is confusing, what is going to happen is that because the messaging of the ad is great, you're going to get traffic, but when the traffic gets on your landing page, you're going to have low opt-ins, you're going to have high bounce rates. Many people are coming to your landing page because your ad is great, but they get to the landing page is confusing, there is difficulty, and then they bounce back. So you have traffic without conversion, and that can be very, very frustrating. But what if you've taken care of the first 3, the positioning, the offer, and then the funnel? You are able to generate traffic, and you are able to convert them into leads. And this leads me to the 4th place where your system might be broken, and that is the follow-up weakness. It is one thing to get the lead, to convert the traffic into leads, but it is another thing to actually nurture the leads. Because if you don't nurture the leads, if you don't follow up with them, you don't create a follow-up system, to follow up the leads. You're going to get opt-ins, but you're not going to get buyers. Yeah, you're going to get leads, people interested in your products, but you're going to get limited sales. The first, maybe a percentage, 1%, 0.5%, 1%, 2% of people that get to the landing page may choose to buy immediately, but others may not be ready to buy. And because you could not follow up on them, there's no nurturing system in place, you're going to lose them. So you're going to have little or no buyers, little or no booked calls, and of course, no second chances, even if they were interested in your product before, because everybody is busy in life. Even though they were interested in your product, they were not ready and you could not follow up on them. Therefore, they will not come back to actually buy from you. Now, all of this may be in place. If you have these four parts in place in your system, your conversion system, that is awesome. But this fifth part is also very, very important, and that is proof weakness. You see, if you have no credibility, people would hesitate even if your copy is good. That is why at the beginning of your business, you want to make sure you do so much, right? Even if it takes doing the work for free, especially if you're a service business, and you want to ensure that you get reviews, you get customer testimonials, you get user-generated content for your brand. And don't just get these reviews and put them one place. No, you have to deploy them in your marketing, because this is what gives you credibility. Ads would increase scrutiny if people do not see proof that your offer had worked for somebody else. People trust what a third party says about your business than 10,000 things you might say about your business, even if they've not met those third parties before. So if you must take home something from everything I've just said right now, is that ads don't necessarily make people buy. Instead, ads make people arrive, especially arrive on your landing page. But what happens after they arrive, that is your responsibility. And this is very important, especially if you're running ads for a client and you're sending the ads to their DM. The effectiveness of the ads converting into customers will depend on how much follow-up system the client has set up in that business in the first place. That is why you see some clients, you run ads to their DM, people go to their DM, and these clients make much sales. You do the same thing for other clients, and they're complaining that they didn't make more sales because somebody has put a follow-up system in place while somebody else didn't. Just expect a magic to be done that when you come to the DM, you just buy. But not everybody gets to buy the first time they come in contact with the business. People need time to be ready, to have the money, to be ready to actually buy. So what happens between when they saw your ad and they come to your DM and when they actually buy, what happens between them will determine whether or not they are going to buy. So now that that is out of the way, let me talk about when to start running ads. And the truth is that this is where most businesses lose money, because they either run their ads too early or they scale their ads too early. You see, advertising has two stages. The number one stage is you testing, and the number two stage is you scaling. Now, the stage one is testing, and here you're trying to answer some questions like what messages resonate, what hook stops people from scrolling. All right, so we have the same content or the same video. You can create different videos with different hook. The hook is the first 30 seconds, the first 1 to 3 seconds of your video that grabs attention of your audience, or the first line of your written content that grabs the attention. So what hooks will stop people from scrolling? You want to test that. You may also want to test what leads offer would convert. So you have 2 or 3 lead offers that you are running ads to at the same time. You want to see which one will convert the best. And if that might be too much for you, you can create just one lead offer, but then try different angles of presenting the same lead offer. All right, use different titles for the same lead offer. You want to test which title people would respond to the best. Those are the things that you want to do during the testing period of your ad. You see, testing is not about making profits, or it's not about making much profit from the front end like that. Testing is about truth, finding out what works. Is this ad converting? Is this offer converting? Is this message, this ad copy, this hook, are they really working? That is what you are trying to find out during the testing stage, or during what I call the prospecting stage. So that is prospecting ad. You want to prospect and see what is working and what is not working. But some people don't do that. From the get-go, they want to spend as much money as possible and then wonder why the ad never converted, while they wasted so much money. No, because you are running ads. It's not that you already have the data, strong data behind you. You want to gather data. You are not omniscient. You are not God. And that's the funny thing. When clients hire us to work with them, maybe they think that we are God and we already know what will work. But I tell my clients, no, I'm going to run a prospecting ad. I'm going to see if this ad is working. That is why you want to create different assets. All right, you want to create as many assets as possible. You want to create as many ads as possible. You want to find out the one that's producing results. It's after 2, 3, 4 days when this particular ad is producing the best results. That is when we scale. All right, I'm giving you secrets what we do as an advertising agency. That is how we always get results, because we try different things at the same time and switched off those that were not working, and then we now scale the ones that are working. So the first stage is the testing stage. After that testing stage comes the stage number 2, which is the scaling stage. So this scaling stage is when now you already have proof. You have data. You now have data behind your advertising. You know which targeting works and which one is not responding. All right, you know which ad is relevant to your audience, which ad is not relevant to your audience. Why was the ad relevant to the audience? Was it because of the content of the ad? Was it because of the offer? Or was it because of the angle of the offer? Now you've gained that data and you're now flying on data. You're not flying blindly. You are flying on data. That is when you now scale. All right, because you've now proven that, okay, this is working. Let's put on more volume. Let's increase volume. Let's spend more. Let's push this more with more money, because it is already proven to work. So to answer the original question, when should you start running ads? You should start running ads, especially at scale, when at least one of these is found to be true. Option A, you already have an offer proof. All right, you've proven the offer. You've sold the offer organically. People are already rushing to buy the offer from you organically, even without ads. Then, please start running the ads. Option B of when you should start running ads is if you have funnel proof. All right, you've proven that this funnel is working. Your landing page is already converting at a reasonable rate, especially with organic traffic and maybe with your testing ad, right? The first stage of your ad, that landing page is already proven to work. Your follow-up emails are already written. Your call to action is clear. Everything looks fine. You want to make sure this is already set up before you start running the ads. Option C of where you should start running ads is if you have messaging proof. You've put out a lot of content with different angles, and you've realized that whenever you post a content with this type of angle, people are always responding. Even though it's organically, people are responding to this angle. Then you want to run ads on that particular angle of your messaging. So you've proven that this messaging works, especially with this angle. So then you can run ads with that messaging and with that angle. Now, the question that might be in your mind is that, okay, I've not sold any offer before. Can I still run ads? Would ads still work if I've never sold any offer? Yes, if you've listened to me previously, you're not going to run the ads spending so much money. The type of ad you're going to run is the testing ad. So you are running the ad to test, to get data. You want to test whether the offer is even working. So you're running the ad with very small budget. You're running the ad with fast iteration. You are making sure that you're tracking your ad. You're running the ad. You are tracking it with pixels, especially if you're running it on your landing page. You're tracking the results of your ad. And you're running the ad with emotional control. You don't want to invest your emotion too much in the results. All right, not that the first day of your ad, by 12 noon, you're not seeing any result. You want to quickly change something. You want to correct something. Still on day one, you want to quickly switch off the ad, or you want to change the budget. No, you need to have emotional stability when running ads, because when you're getting started, ads will be humble you quickly. So you want to have some emotional stability. You want to put money that you know you are willing to lose in the first place when you are testing the ads. All right, because you don't know what will work. You don't have premonition. All right, you're not omniscient, so you want to test what would work, because you're going to spend money on some. In your testing, some ad will not work, which you've lost money on it, while some would work, which you will make money on it. So that is what you want to do if the offer has not been sold before. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is that ads is an amplifier, and this is the mental model that changes everything. Ads just amplify what is already working or what is not working. So if your messaging is clear, your ad would amplify it. If your messaging is confusing, your ad would amplify it. If you already build trust over time, your ads would amplify it. And what if you build distrust over time? Your ad would amplify it, and people will start commenting, a fraud, scammer. You don't want that. If you're already generating demand and you have credibility that your offer works, your ad would amplify it. But what if you have weak offers? Of course, your ad would amplify the weak offers. And if you have strong offers, trust me, your ad would amplify it. It's as simple as that. And if your landing page is converting at 20% organically, your ad will simply amplify that also. It will scale it at that same 20% conversion rate. And if your landing page is converting at 2% organically, most likely your ad will scale that too. So if 100 people come to your landing page and only 2 buys, then your ad might bring 10,000 people to your landing page and only 200 will buy. And what that means is that you're going to lose money faster. If you're losing money before organically with your ads, you're losing money faster because you're spending more and you're just making 2% conversion. And of course, for that type of landing page or the offer converting at 2%, it must be that the price point is very high, such that you're already making money even at 2% conversion, such that even with the ad, even though it's 200 sales, 2% out of 10,000, you are still making money and you're not losing like that. But if you want your ads to convert much more, you want to make much more money than you are making right now, what you want to amplify are the assets, not hope that maybe the ad would make me make more money. If there's no conversion system, the ad will only bring the traffic. You cannot convert them in the first place. So you want to fix those assets, you want to amplify them, you want to fix your lead generation offer, you want to produce a more better quality lead generation offer that your audience already wants and that aligns with your paid offer. So if we're in the first place starting out with your high ticket offer, maybe you need to create that high quality lead gen offer that gives people value before you introduce your high ticket offer to them. So you want to fix those assets behind the engine that makes the ad actually work. And of course, the asset is more than just the offer. If it's a messaging, your content, you want to fix your content, you want to make sure that your video is performing organically or performing with the test ad, right? You want to validate the performance of your video with your test ad, that small budget ad, your prospecting ad, before you scale it. And if the problem is the follow-up system, then you want to make sure that you create your image sequence or you create your retargeting ad to ensure that this thing converts by fire, by force. So you don't just depend only on your front end ad. Retargeting ad is also something that you can do to bring people back to the offer, to the landing page, and then for them to buy. Now let's move over to something very important which you must know when running advertisements, and that is running your advertisements to cold traffic versus warm traffic. And this is the part that separates amateurs from experts. I've been running ads for years and I've come to realize that the majority of ad failures that many people experience is not really because of the target. Yeah, I know that targeting is the first thing that people try to look out for when their ad is not converting, but many of the times it's not really targeting. I've had that experience even this year. Yeah, the beginning of this year I ran an ads and nobody was converting. I spent money for 2 days or 2 or 3 days and nothing was converting. I just switched off the ad. So I came back, I checked the ad on my system. I realized that this ad was actually converting and people were coming to the landing page, and then I realized that the problem was the landing page. The landing page was not converting. So you need to investigate why is this thing not converting. But majority of the times the problem is the messaging mismatch, and that mismatch happens when you try to communicate to cold traffic as though you are talking to warm traffic. And just to clarify, cold traffic means that these people don't know you yet. This is the first time they are seeing your ad. All right, it's not that they've seen some previous ads, they've seen your content before, they've clicked on your content, they've commented on you before, now they know you have a level of trust for you. No, they don't know you at all. And many of the time, they don't even know that they have the problem that you're trying to solve. So because of that, you don't really have credibility. They don't know your story. They don't know your results, even though you're selling an offer that actually helps them. So these people are complete strangers to you. But when we talk about warm traffic, these are the people that recognize you. They've seen your content before. You've run some testing ads before. You run some maybe awareness or just engagement ads before, right? They may not have converted in those previous ads, but at least this is not the first time they are seeing you. They've seen your content. They've engaged before. They've clicked before. They've just not bought before. So these are warm audience that you are running your ads to. But there's another one that is hot traffic. These are the ones who are close to buying. Sometimes they even bought, all right, but some other time they're just close to buying. Maybe they're just comparing. Maybe they are now deciding, or they're just waiting for the money to come in before they buy. They've already decided that they buy from you, just waiting for the money to come in at the right time before they buy. So these are the audience that more often than not, they've even experienced you before. They've bought a low ticket offer from you before. They've experienced that, they enjoyed it. Now they want to have better experience with you. These are the hot traffic, and these are the traffic that converts the highest, but they are the traffic with the lowest audience. The largest audience are the cold traffic. But what this cold traffic needs is not for you to pressure them buy now. No, that's not how you create your ad for this cold traffic. That's buy now. It's mostly for the hot traffic because they've already seen many of your content. They're ready to buy. So maybe all they need is just a gentle push. 2% discount, that's too small. 10% discount, buy it now, in 2 days the discount will be off. They may quickly buy because they were ready in the first place to buy even before you gave that 10% discount. So that would work on odds or sometimes on warm audience, but not the cold audience. Don't pressure cold audience. What cold audience needs is a clear problem. You need to state that problem, because many of the time these cold audience are not just cold towards you that they don't know you. They are cold towards themselves in that they are even unaware of their own problem in the first place. So you need to get them to a place where you can clearly diagnose their problem, so that by themselves saying that, so this is the reason why I am facing this problem in my relationship. If the offer is about relationship, this is the reason why my offer is not selling. That's if I need to make money offer. All right, so they need to see this is the problem, this diagnosis. They need to see your unique mechanism. They need to believe your unique mechanism. They need to see your credibility. They need to give them proof why this thing works. And it takes time before these people tends to convert. So for you to get them to convert early and quickly, you're not going to sell your core offer to them, or you're not going to sell your high ticket offer to them. You might just sell your lead generation offer, which is free, or you can upsell them with a very low ticket offer, which usually call a tripwire offer for this cold audience. So the messaging, the type of ad you're going to run for these people are the ad that is just getting them from not knowing anything to a point where you actually ask them to buy from you. So that's when you create your awareness ads, your engagement ads, awareness ads, traffic ads that you are running just to your content, your organic content. You are boosting it, you are running ads to it just to get more people to know that you exist. Those are the ads you run to cold audience. And if you want a little bit of conversion, you can create your lead generation ad and then add a low ticket offer to actually start making money from the cold audience. But you don't expect majority of your sales to come from there. This cold audience, when you deal with them and convert them into warm audience, then you're going to make much more money from them. But from the beginning, you don't want to rush them with your high ticket offers. Of course, it still works cold audience if you know how to create your ad the right way. But when it comes to warm audience, these ones already believe you. So what they are waiting for is the timing to actually buy, because they've seen your content before, they've seen your credibility. So what they want might be reassurance, right? So these are not unaware audience. This could be problem aware or solution aware audience. They are aware of their problem. They've seen your content before. They know that you have the solution. They may be product aware, right? They've already understood. They've seen the kind of products that you are actually selling, but they just need a little bit of more reassurance. They need you to show them the next step. They need to be clear about the next step they should take. So these are the ones that you can be more direct with, all right, when selling your offer to them. So you can give them a great offers, you can give them deadlines, you can ask them to book a call, apply to work with you. These are the people you want to sell your offer direct with, a direct call to action to actually buy your paid products, because they've already downloaded your lead magnet in the first place. So now you're asking them to buy. So your retargeting ads to this warm audience. They were cold audience before, they've interacted with your content, now they are warm audience. Now you can retarget them to actually buy your products. But the problem that I've seen is that many people talk to cold audience as though they're talking to warm audience. So they're trying to pressure them, people that don't know you before, that they don't even know that they have a problem to solve in the first place, pressure them to buy now. That is why their ads fail. So you don't want to fall into this trap. And that is why it's advisable that keep running awareness or engagement ads. Put a little budget. Keep running it every day. Every time you create a content, or just keep a budget for you to create, or just keep a budget for you to run ads, just awareness or traffic engagement ads, just consistently. You're not looking to generate money from that ads. You are looking to just get more people to know about your business, all right? So that is the ad you are running, just to ensure that you have more cold traffic getting to be aware of your business, all right? Getting them to see your organic content, and then getting them to a place so that when your real ad, right, your lead generation ad, your ad to sell your products comes up to them, they can easily be open to actually buy your products. And that leads me to what I want to talk about, which is retargeting ads and why retargeting ads work. Of course, that is why it works, because people really buy when they see you the first time, not because they don't want a product. They may not even be ready, they may not have the money yet, or they may be distracted, or maybe you don't just have the credibility for them to actually buy from you in the first place. And of course, they need to protect their risk, the risk that they are going to take. So when your awareness ad, engagement ads, you've reached them with those type of ads, you've made them realize that this is the problem they have. Now they know they have a problem, and they know you might have a solution to that problem. Then you want to run a retargeting ads to that same audience, because they now move from cold audience to warm audience. So your retargeting ads does 3 jobs. Number one, it creates repetition. And as you know, repetition creates familiarity. When people see your ads often, when they see your messaging often, it almost feel like they already know you. All right. Have you ever experience the fact that somebody you've not seen before physically, all right, you hear that something bad happened to that person and you are feeling uneasy, you feel sad as though you are very familiar with this person, even though you've never met the person physically before. And that's because you've been seeing the person's content, you've been hearing his voice on Instagram, on YouTube. So it feels familiar as though you are brother or sister to that person. That's what repetition does. It creates familiarity, all right, and that familiarity will reduce the fear of taking the risk to actually buy your product. And number two things that retargeting does is that it answers objections. Objections don't disappear just on their own. Your objections are addressed. So with retargeting ads, you can address people's objections about why they may not want to buy your product. All right, so they've seen your ad the first time, they downloaded your content, your low ticket offer, but your core offer, they didn't buy it. You might create a retargeting ads addressing some objections about what is stopping them from buying and addressing their concerns. And of course, if you understand how to create a good retargeting ads, you're going to create some level of certainty. People buy when they are certain that this thing works. And your retargeting ads shouldn't just repeat the same ad that they've already seen before. No, your retargeting ads should come up with testimonials, case studies. You want to break down the unique mechanism, what differentiates your offer from other offers. That is what you want to show your retargeting ads. You want to get them to realize that this thing is the real deal. Yeah, they've seen the offer before, so you're not repeating the offer. You want to get them to the point where they are certain this offer is actually for them. So if what you can do is to create FAQ content for them, that frequently asked questions content, if what you can do is to state who this offer is for, then I'll be wondering, okay, this offer works for this kind of person. I don't know if it will work for me in my industry. You want to create an ad that states who this offer is for. You want to create an ad that states who this offer is not for. That's a reverse psychology. All right, who this offer is not for, so that if it's for them, then they can self-select, think this thing is for me, so maybe I'm ready to buy this offer. So that is what you do with retargeting ads. And like I always do in each of my episodes, let's talk about faith. All right, faith without me sounding preachy. Of course, if you think I'm sounding preachy, that's also good. And that is about wisdom before expansion. Of course, it relates. My talk about faith usually relates with the episode. Wisdom before expansion. Expansion without wisdom will bring pressure to your business, just like running ads without fixing the system would expose your broken system to the world. So you want to make sure that you set up structure that can accommodate the expansion of your business. Yeah, ads can grow business, and it can even grow the business faster than your capacity can handle. If you've not set up and enlarge the capacity, what's going to happen to your business? The customer experience will drop because nobody's available to attend to your customers. Number two, delivery might become chaotic. You were able to deliver to 5 people conveniently before. Now 15 people are making order. Let's say the offer is a service-based business, and you've not hired more hands to serve these 15 people. What's going to happen is that you're going to burn out. Your delivery will not be good, and at the end, your reputation would suffer. So yes, ads can bring money. Expanding your business, scaling is great for your business, but wisdom sustains what growth starts. So you want to lay the foundation of the wisdom. You want to increase the capacity before you endeavor to expand the scope of your business, even with ads. So the question is, what does wisdom look like? Well, like I said, increase the capacity. You fix the system, or you create the system before you spend in your business. You do some follow-up before you increase the reach. You fix the clarity of your messaging before you increase the volume, that is increasing the number of audience of those who sees the messaging. You don't want them to see you confuse the messaging. All right, you increase capacity to deliver before you actually scale. This is wisdom. It's not fear about it's stewardship. It's being responsible as a business owner. And on that note, I want to end this episode with this reflection for this week. And the summary is, ads are not something you set and forget. No, ads are something you manage like an asset. So you want to ask these questions when you are creating your ads. All right, the question, which of your ads is bringing the best leads? You want to find out which of them is, and find out why. Is it the angle? Is it the offer? Which of the ad is working, producing the results for your business? You want to investigate to find out what messaging is being ignored, all right, by your audience, and what does that tells you as a business owner. And of course, you want to find out where are people dropping off. Like I said about the ad around early this year, people were dropping off on the landing page. They were not even converting into leads. 0 leads. Having spent about 10,000 naira, no leads. So you want to find out, where are people dropping off? Is it that it's the ad that's not working, or is the landing page that's not producing results? Is it the ad? Is it the landing page? Is it the title page? Or is it the email follow-up that's you've not yet set up? Again, are we matching the messaging to the traffic temperature? Whether it is cold ads to cold audience, warm ads to warm audience, or are we creating warm ads to cold audience? Again, are we scaling ads that already have data and have proven to work, or are we just scaling based on guess? Let's just add more money to this ad even though it's not working, and let's see whether it will start working. No. So you want to find out that, and if you do that, the business will thank you for it. So let me close with this. Ads are not a shortcut. Ads are not a rescue plan. They are a multiplier for what is already working in your business. If your system is clear, your advertisement would give you scale. And on the other hand, if your system is broken, your ads would give you loss. So my friend, don't use ads to fix a broken system. Instead, use the ads to amplify what you've already built that is working. Now, if you're listening to this and you're realizing, my system isn't ready for ads yet, well, that's not a problem. That's clarity. You already know what is not working. But the good news is that inside our digital launchpad accelerator, we will help you build that great system. We'll build your position. We'll build your offer clarity. All right. Even the lead generation offer itself will help you build it. We'll help you design your funnel. We will help you build your email follow-up sequences. Your entire email system would help you build it. We'll build your content engine for you. Everything you require for your business to generate results and to scale will help you do it. And of course, we are going to help you run ads when it's time to run the ads. And we're not just going to test those ads to see which works. We'll also help you to scale the ads that work. If you are up for this, all you have to do is to go to pmi.ng/digital-launchpad or click the link in the description below and then go to that page and apply to book a session with us.